What's going on, Raider Nation? I'm Dan Mcdaniels' son. We are talking the Raiders. One of these mornings, I'm hoping to wake up and I see the news of Josh McDaniels being fired. And this morning, obviously, by the time of this recording, has not happened yet. One of these mornings. One of these days, Josh McDaniels will be fired. Now, I was going to do a recording last night after the game, Sunday night game, prime time. I couldn't, man. I couldn't. I had to really kind of compose, get my thoughts, just kind of be at peace. Because last night I was absolutely pissed. I was pissed. This was a game. There are games where you know that the Raiders, it's a long shot. You feel the game. You're like, you know what? They can't beat this team like against Buffalo. But then there's games where you know that they can win, that they should win. And the Pittsburg Steelers game was absolutely 100%. We should have won that game. We could have won that game, but we didn't. Going back to my video and predicting our keys to winning the matchup with the Steelers, I said that this was a matchup I had confidence that we could win. But then I had confidence that we could blow it because the Raiders seem to do that for many, many years now. Wow. What a game to watch as a Raider fan. The most frustrating game I have seen yet. And I mean, the Buffalo game was bad. But this is worse. And I'll tell you why it's worse. Because there was so many things that could have went our way. There were so many things that should have went our way that, yes, the refs, once again, not on our side. Actually, they were. They weren't on our side in the beginning. And then they kind of were at the end. So I'm not going to pin it on the refs. We know Raider fans already know it's either they're really against us. We get a couple calls maybe our way, but when we really need them, they're really against us. But it wasn't the refs that stopped us from winning this game. It was ourselves. It all started when we should have got a pick six from Marcus Peters. And this vet, who's been in the league for a very long time, drops the easiest pick to go into the end zone. I think we lost like 23-18. And this was the beginning. This was the first quarter. This was the first quarter. And Peters could have took it to the house. Don't you think we need that score? If we have that score, it's a different ball game. It's a different momentum. It's a different vibe. But we didn't. He dropped it. This is very frustrating. As a Raider fan, very frustrating because we've seen this before. We saw it in preseason this year. Guys, defenders not being able to hold on an easy interception or turnover. The lack of turnovers this defense has had for many years. The lack of them creating turnovers and then just getting a beautiful one right there from a vet. I don't know what it is with the Raiders where they bring in vets. They bring seasoned guys and then they come in here and they play like shit. That never used to be the case. We brought guys who were the underdogs. We brought guys who were seasoned back in the day to the Raiders. We were known to bring guys from past their prime and have a little bit more magic. Just get that little more magic out of them for the remainder of their careers. Not now. It hasn't been we had Randy Moss, we had Warren Sapp. What did those guys do for the Raiders? Really nothing. Was it a bad wasn't a bad team at that point when they were in here? Yes, it was. But let's move on. So this game, man. So Peters drops the easy pick six. That's how you know, oh shit. Here we go again. What is going on? Everybody is talking about Jimmy G's performance. And what a bad performance it has been. Everybody's saying we should bring in O'Connell, number 4. Not Derek Carr, number 4, O'Connell, into some of these games. See what we got. Because Jimmy G needs to be benched. First of all, depending, because after the game, Jimmy G went and did his concussion protocol. Took a lot of nasty hits. Yes, Jimmy G did have a bad game. Like, he had a bad game. A lot of this is on his shoulders. Another thing is on his shoulders is, boy, that Steelers defense, we knew it was going to be tough. I thought that, you know what, Jimmy G, just get the ball out quick. If you're not going to go deep because he doesn't have an arm, at least do short route passes, but very clever short passes. Screens, slants, picks, Not the picks I was hoping for. To Jacoby Meyers, who came back, who had a game. Yeah, but I think 87 yards. Almost caught one in the end zone to at least attempt to tie up the game, but Jimmy just threw it way too much to the right. I don't think that ball would have. I mean, if you could toss it up, see if he can jump up and get it, but it's a hard one to get to throw and grab. It's not like when the Steelers won the Super Bowl that one year, right? I said, you know what? Throw quick passes. Do not. TJ Watt's going to eat. Throw quick passes. At least get the ball out. Get it out. Have a plan. Were they going to use Hunter Renfrow? I said in my last video, they weren't. What did they do? I think Hunter Renfrow got 2 passes. 2 catches. That's it. They did not utilize Hunter Renfrow. They didn't really utilize Trey Tucker. DeAndre Carter got a good, nice little screen. He got a good run back a couple times in the game, punt return. No, the 2 guys that were on it were Jacoby Meyers, that we knew was going to happen when he came back. And I think this is the best signing that we did out of all the Patriots signings. This was the best one. I really did like this signing with Jacoby Meyers. He's a baller. And of course, we know Davante Adams is the GOAT. A lot of Raider channels are saying we don't deserve Davante Adams. We absolutely don't deserve Davante Adams. The guy is so frustrated right now, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So that would be my game plan, to get Jimmy quickly to throw the ball out. His decision-making needed to be the key to winning the game. Obviously, it didn't work. But all on Jimmy, but then the offensive line, man, some plays, they got bullied, man. They got bullied. Right when the ball was hiked, Jimmy didn't even have 2 seconds to react when there was a defender in his face. There was one sack he took in the beginning of the game by TJ Watt. Step up, Jimmy. Step up. It's on the offensive line. If we're not giving a little bit more time, but where Jimmy was and where TJ Watt's arm was and being able to grab him, put him down, it looked like a Derek Carr moment. It looked like a Derek Carr moment where Derek Carr would go down with one arm wrapped around him. Jimmy, decision-making was terrible, but the offensive line did not play good at all. A lot of people are saying, why is the run game not working? Jimmy doesn't have a big arm. They stack up the box, but you look at some of this blocking, man. You look at it, and they're getting demolished. This offensive line is getting demolished. They're not terrible, but they're not really good. I would say they're very similar to the Pittsburg Steelers offensive line. They did do work on some of the later on during the game where Jimmy had lots of time. Lots of time in the pocket, happy feet, and checking it down. Missing a really, just not accurate at all. Hitting Jacobs, but Jacobs kind of a little behind or low. A lot of low passes. All the time in the world. When you get a vet, like you have, let's say, a Tom Brady, let's say one of these new quarterbacks that are out here, Justin Herbert, who we're going to be playing on Sunday, and I'll be at the game, and I am going to get drunk because I know we will probably not win that game. Justin Herbert, if he has all the time in the world, which we saw it when he was playing against the Vikings. If he has all the time in the world like that, he's hitting somebody. And he's not just looking at Davante Adams. He's not just looking at Jacoby Meyers. He's looking for Michael Mayer probably. Maybe he's looking at Hunter Renfrow. Then he will look at Josh Jacobs. And he'll probably check it down with very accurate passing. Jimmy can't do that. Jimmy can't go down the field. Jimmy's passes are going to get these wide receivers killed. There was multiple times I was scared for devante. Devante had to go up and get those balls that Jimmy was getting. He had to go low. He had to go really low for his first touchdown of the game. Jimmy is not accurate. There was one particular pass where he was, and I believe that was to Jacoby Meyers, when there was like 3 defenders around him. He needled that ball right there. That was one of the dimes. That was one of the best passes. It was a stupid decision still, but he got it in there. But then we learned later on during the game, he makes really questionable decisions. He does that. I think he tries to do that again later on. And this is his first pick. I think he tries to throw it to Michael Mayer and pick City. Steelers get a turnover. Once again, the Raiders are turning over the ball. Last year, it was Carr fumbling the ball a lot and throwing picks. Jimmy throwing a pick there. And then, my God, the second pick he threw, I thought he was trying to throw it out of bounds. I don't know where this thing was going. He was throwing it up, and I've seen this a couple times in the NFL where a quarterback will throw it up, and it looks like either they're trying to throw it away, but it looks like he's throwing a self-made punt. And the defender gets it. What are you doing, Jimmy? What is going on? Jimmy G does not look good. He doesn't. There are some things he does that are good. He steps up. But this game, he was scared. He was scared. He was very, very scared. So much happy feet in this game. He's a vet. He's a vet. He has played in the NFL for quite a long time. And his feet are happy. He's scared. He got rattled. Raider quarterbacks don't have the killer instinct, which the saddest thing is we lost this game. The performance was pathetic by the offense. And we honored the great Ken Stabler, the snake. His daughter was there. The snake, the Hall of Famer, Ken Stabler. And we have Jim not afraid to go, throw down the field, bomb it, use his body. This should be if we're going to honor him, this should be a revenge. Because a lot of people don't remember he made that epic run into the end zone to take the lead against the Steelers before the Immaculate Reception. A lot of people don't remember that. Raiders do. Raider fans know that. Raider fans know before the Immaculate Reception, was it really a reception? Before that, the most iconic thing was Ken Stabler running into the end zone. Doing it himself. But the Raiders, Mark Davis, Josh McDaniels, decided, let's shit on everybody's parade. Let's not honor Ken Stabler would not be feared. He would not have fear in his eyes if he saw TJ Watt. He wouldn't be Geno Smith like, oh my God. He would fucking go. He would go. You got to be fearless. You got to be a snake, a viper. Jimmy G is not that. Now, I'll give it to Jimmy G. He took a lot of hits this game. He took a lot of hits last game. So far, and I thought he was done. He folded at one play. His legs, his ankle folded. That was a bad hit. I thought he was out. I thought he was done. I thought it was game over for Jimmy G. But he did come back. He did play the whole game. So I'm going to give him credit right there. The man is trying to prove haters that, yes, I'm fragile, but I'm tough too. I could if I can go, I can go. So I'll give him that. I'll give the man credit on that. But what I'm hating on is his play. The play that he had, the play that he was his plane the whole game. It's frustrating. I can't even talk. It's so frustrating because I'm just going back and rewinding the whole game in my head and the things he was doing. And we lost this game not only because of him and the line not holding up for at least 2 seconds, but the guy who has the headset on the sideline. But we'll get to him in a minute. So let's move on from there. All right. So the Steelers defense, I knew they were going to come. They were going to be hungry. I knew TJ Watt was going to eat. The Steelers defense was really, really good this game. I don't think the Steelers is a great team. I think the offense is terrible on that team. I think we made Kenny Pickett look like a stud. We let everybody look like a stud. James Cook from the Buffalo Bills, we made him look like a stud. I'm very surprised that the Steelers didn't really run more on us on this defense. But here's the other thing: this defense stepped it up pretty good, not bad. Other than not getting a pick six, but that's not really kind of saying too much because the Steelers' offense was already horrible. So the Raiders holding them to 23 points. Good. I said they needed to hold them under 20. They did. I mean, they allowed a little bit more, but not bad. They didn't get blown out. But the problem is the Steelers defense is awful. The Steelers offense is one of the worst offenses in the league. They're bad. Najee Harris he is not the future back for the Steelers. And he gained about 50 yards. I called that one. Kenny Pickett knew he was going to throw a couple touchdowns. You know, 235 for Jimmy's 324, something like that. Jimmy's 2 touchdowns. Jimmy throwing it to Devante Adams, and we'll get to him right now too. But I just want to talk about this defense. This defense, you know, if they were a good defense, if they were a fantastic defense like the Niners, if they were just a good defense, easily they wouldn't allow 23 points. They would have probably allowed 16, maybe even 13 points. Because Steelers' offense is that bad. They're not good. I thought Pickens might have went off on us, but not really. Didn't score a touchdown. So Raiders defense, to applaud their effort and saying they stepped up and only allowing so many points, that doesn't, against the worst offense in the league, one of the worst, I don't care if they're ranked at a certain point and they're not the last, but the Steelers offense, even people who are Steelers fans will tell you, is really bad. So the defense allowing 23 points, cool. Only 23 points. But they didn't get off the field like they should have. Making stupid penalties. Once again, Max Crosby, you are the captain. What are you doing? Pulling a Steeler off and getting flagged for it. Max got a sack in this game. Max Crosby's my boy, man. As much as I'm saying, what are you doing? You're doing bonehead stuff. Once again, I saw a couple plays where he wasn't containing. Look at that game back and look at Kenny Pickett, how he was in the pocket is collapsing, and what does he do? He just runs to the right or runs to the left. Who is containing? Nobody is containing on that defense. Max Crosby, you are going inside when you should be going around. Who is containing? Nobody. This is how Kenny Pickett is able to go outside, throw some balls, get some open receivers. The one play that really frustrated me, that this defense knew it was it's the Raider defense, knew it was going to happen, was the play that Kenny Pickett, it was like 3rd down, right? 3rd and 9 or something like that. Runs for tremendous yards at the goal line. Gets called back for a penalty. I think it was a illegal motion. And then I was like, 3rd and 9 again. So they get a second chance. Raiders get a second chance to stop them. I was like, they're not going to stop them. And my buddy, diehard Raider fan, goes, he's going to do the same damn thing. He's going to run it for a 1st down. And what happened? He doesn't go get tremendous yards. He just runs it for a 1st down. To the left this time, not to the right. Raider defense, baby. Raider defense. Marcus Peters, I believe, gets beat by this guy, Austin guy, wide receiver speedster. Don't even know who the hell he is. I don't know who that guy is, but he got open, took it to the house, blown coverage, maybe blown assignment. Kuntz looked like he went down for a little bit. I think he went back on the game. Tyree Wilson did play the game, didn't see him at all, didn't even notice he was playing. It was run stopping, was good. The run stop, he did a good job on stopping the run. I thought the running game with Warren, with Steelers, was going to really tear us apart there. But they did a good job to keep us. The defense did keep us in the game. Because the offense is supposed to outscore a lot of these teams. And they're not doing it, man. They're not doing it. So with the defense, I'm going to say this, man. They did what they needed to do for us to win. They're still making absolutely boneheaded mistakes. There is still pressure. There's pressure, but there's not results. You could say Max Crosby is the best in the league of pressuring the quarterback, but there's still not as much results that you want. Why does TJ Watt able to have the best pressure, yet get the guy, and Max Crosby can't? Max Crosby knows this. He's my boy. He knows this, though. He needs to get better. He needs more technique. If you want to ascend to that level of a TJ Watt, of a JJ Watt, of a Bosa, you need to reach that level. You need to get better. He has the talent. He's still young. He's still able to ascend to where the level he's at. He's able to go Super Saiyan 2 or 3, but he needs to get better. Forgive me for all the noise in the background. It is what it is. Whatever. There was a lot of noise at the stadium, too. A lot of noise. A lot of terrible towels rocking. Allegiant Stadium is rocking. Not for the Raiders, because when the Raiders came out to the field, there was tons of boos. When the Raiders were going on their final, Hail Mary drive, last chance opportunity, a lot of noise. A lot of noise for the Raiders offense. The Allegiant Stadium and our stadium and our home field advantage is a joke. It's a joke, man. Now, I can't really talk too much shit about that because we Raider fans go to the SoFi Stadium and we are there. That isn't even our stadium. Man, that's a lot of noise. That's a lot of noise. I'm going to keep going, though. We're already 22 minutes in this video. I'm just going to keep going. Man, dude. Allegiant, Oakland, Miss Oakland, I love Vegas. Mark Davis, here we go. Mark Davis, what are you doing, man? You are making it hard for us Raider fans to actually even visit your stadium to go see a game. And it's even harder for the fact we're not a winning team. The tickets are outrageous. Us Raider fans are kind of poor. I'm kind of poor. You're making it very, very hard for us as a Raider fan. You can't give us like a discount for Raider fans somehow, some way. Because that stadium is never, ever full of actual just all black and silver, white and black. That game was full of black and gold or old colors, but it wasn't going for us. They were going for the Pittsburg Steelers, those Roethlisbergers. The Allegiant Stadium is a joke. I love the stadium. Looks absolutely gorgeous, but it doesn't deserve a title called Death Star. Or maybe it does, because it seems to be blown up every single episode or movie. What a joke of a owner. I tried to give him a benefit of doubt when he took over. Said, okay, we're going to Vegas. All right. I can see the money making in that. I can see him try. He tried to stay in Oakland. He tried to go to LA. All right. He tried. But the dude doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't even have anybody to help him know anything. Al Davis, say what you say at the end of his years of his life and how terrible he was as an owner as well. Drafting really questionable drafts. First picks, assembling a team that just went nowhere. He is rolling in his grave. Al Davis, even with all the bad things that happened at the end of his life, he's still the Raider. When you think the Raiders, when you think Super Bowls, when you think winning, when you think excellence, when you think commitment, You think Al Davis. Al Davis is the one that molded what the Raiders are. Well, not today, but what the Raiders' history is. There would be no Raiders if it wasn't for Al Davis. And he has done a lot of questionable things over the history of the Raiders. The beef with Marcus Allen, the questionable firing of John Gruden, the first tenure. Obviously, his later years. But Al Davis, it doesn't matter what he did in his later years. He still was excellence. He still brought us glory. Mark Davis, you look at this guy, and they showed him. They showed him on camera and during the game. What a fool, man. What a fool. He's nonchalant. And we're giving him money. We're buying merch. We're paying for tickets. You can't go to Vegas without spending at least, 2 G's to watch the team who should win a game not win. My God, if we lose to the Bears, guys. So moving on, Davante Adams, what a stud. What an absolute stud. I have him in a couple of my fantasy leagues. He outscored Tyreek Hill. Well, he had a monster game. A monster game with shitty-ass quarterback play. Almost dying in a lot of catches, going up for it. Looked like he was hurt a little bit. After the game in his presser, I don't regret. I wouldn't feel bad if he left. Because he deserves to be on a winning team. He said he doesn't have time to wait on us. He's here for to win now, basically. That's basically what he said. He was very calm, cool, collective. If you ever listen to Davante Adams when he gives out interviews, very calm guy, man. Very, he's not loud. He's very professional. Very professional. But he will let you know what's on his mind. And what's on his mind is not the Raiders. What's on his mind is, I came here to play with Derek Carr. I'm playing with Jimmy G. I thought, you know what, let's give this a shot. It's not working. On his mind is, this coach is a clown. This is not working. I think he will honor playing with the Raiders, at least till the end of the year. If I'm the Raiders, either you really make some moves to really help this guy towards the end of the year to see if there is some promise next year, or you just trade him, man. You get something out of it. Wasted talent, just like the other guy, Hunter Renfrow. Wasted talent. Once was a Pro Bowl. We know his abilities. All Raider Nation knows what he could do. We know what he could do. And yet he had one bad year last year because he fumbled the ball to cost the game, got unhealthy, or concussion, was out for a couple games. And that's it. That's a wrap. Josh McDaniels saw what he needed to see. But he didn't see what we saw with Hunter Renfrow. Hunter Renfrow's a Raider, man. You give him a good quarterback, he's going to help this team win. Josh McDaniels, Jimmy Garoppolo, I don't know who, it's both of them. What wasted talent. Trade Hunter Renfrow, please. Get something. But get this, do not end this guy's career like this. He's not going to get any looks because the freaking Raiders don't know how to use him. Please trade him. Wasted talent just on the field being a decoy. Terrible. If you trade him away, you bring in Trey Tucker, see what this kid could do. Let's see what else we could talk about. This was a frustrating game, man. Got my friend calling real quick. What a frustrating game. Let's just end this video with the controversial call, which this is what pissed me off. This is what blew my lid, man. This is what had me throwing my hat, scratching my head, flipping off the TV, being emotional. Because Josh McDaniels, man. Josh McDaniels. First of all, so let's say the last 4 minutes of the game. The last 4 minutes of the game where the Raiders need to score 2 points to tie up the game. Just no hustle. No, just they went on, they huddled up. No urgency. You have time. You need to score, and you need to get the ball back to score again to win the game. The clock management, holy shit, was horrible. Horrible. So, the Raiders, no urgency. I know it's 4 minutes, but they're not playing 2-minute drill here. You need to play 2-minute drill here. You need to get the ball back in. You need to go down and score. And even if you score and you don't get the 2 points, you need the ball back still to win it for a field goal. At least a stop. So, Josh McDaniels, the Raiders, they go down the field. They're in field goal range. They miss, Jimmy misses, I believe it's Jacoby Meyers for the first down. And then this, I think it was like 45, 50 maybe out their line. They weren't in goal line. They weren't at the goal. So I was like, okay, there's about over 3 minutes. You're fourth down. It's 4th and 2, 4th and 1. I think it's, believe it, 4th and 1. You kick the field goal. I get that. You could do it there. You kick the field goal there because you still need 2 scores. You have plenty of time. You have 3 timeouts. It's like 3:30. It's not, maybe 3:25. Kick the field goal there. I think it's 3:30. Kick the field goal. I'm okay with that. The gods, Al Davis trying to help us win. Steelers get a penalty on them. First down. There was actually a one penalty too during this game where the Raiders where Jimmy G got roughing the passer. Didn't look like roughing the passer. I thought it was a clean hit, but we got that first down, and I think that was the drive where we threw it. He threw it to Devante Adams, and he got his second touchdown. I think that was during that drive right there, and I believe it was. But this one, they get the penalty on them Steelers, and we get a first down. New life. We're right there now. We're moving the ball. Check down. We're moving the ball. We're right there in goal line, and we don't punch it in. We don't punch it in. Throw it to Jacoby Meyers, who laid out, got a beautiful catch, but way out of bounds. It's 4th down. It's like 4th and 3, I believe. You're right there in the goal line, though. You wasted a lot of time. You waste a lot of time after that field goal attempt. So now it's like around 2:30, I believe, and maybe even 2:25. I think it was 2:30 though, because we did use a couple of our timeouts when the Steelers got the ball. So let's say it's 2:30, and the Raiders 4th and 3. You gotta go for it. You gotta go for it. No, it is not. Every person who's not even a coach knows you gotta go for it. If you miss it, at least you hold them right there in the goal line. Or a better attempt of stopping them there. A better attempt to get better field advantage if they do punt. When they do punt, when we stop them. And the flip side, it's a 50-50, man. Either you're going to stop them there and you're going to get good field advantage, or you're actually going to score and then you're going to attempt this 2 points and hopefully get the 2 points. And you're going to tie up the game. That way, if you tie up the game, you still have time and a chance to win the game, because you still need 2 scores, but at least you're tied, and at least you have the off chance of, or at least you have a chance of stopping them. And if the time runs out, at least you have a better chance of winning the game at overtime. Look at all the scenarios for us to win the game, and Josh McDaniels now he decides to kick a field goal. It's 4th and 3, and you decide to kick a field goal with less than 3 minutes. Goal line. This is your shot, buddy. This is how we get to 2-2. I guarantee you, Jack Del Rio would have went for it. And you were supposedly supposed to be a genius. So we kicked the field goal. It's 23-18. Pittsburgh Steelers have the ball. We use our timeouts. We use it before the 2-minute warning. Third down. Third and like 2. Told my buddy, this is what they're going to do. Happens all the time. They're not going to run the ball. Every coach that plays against the Raiders always does this shit to us. That famous, iconic Peyton Manning run when he was with Denver that fooled the Raiders and just the slowest quarterback ever to play the game being able to get that first down. But I knew exactly what Mike Tomlin was going to do. He was going to fake the handoff, and then he was going to throw it to the flat. Fakes the handoff, throws it to the flat. Mike Tomlin calls that play. Nobody is even, I think it was Pickens that got it. Nobody's even there to cover him. First down, easy first down. Easy first down. No, not even trouble. Not even attempt to bat the ball down. Just easy, open, first down. Called it. Called it right there. Told him that's what's going to happen. We stop them. This is how bad the Steelers' offense is. We stop them again. We have, 30 seconds, about 20 seconds, something like that. Not even. I think it was like, by the time we got the punt done, Jimmy, I don't know. We had maybe 11 seconds left on the game. Jimmy throws a pick. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We lost that game once McDaniels made that decision. Once McDaniels made that decision after getting a gift delivered and being able to get that first down off a penalty, and then 4th and 3, you're at goal line. The perfect. It's a win-win. It's a win-win. Josh McDaniels is one of the most arrogant, thinks he's godlike coach I have ever seen. Such arrogance to him. He has won everything, but he hasn't won shit as a head coach. And I'm kind of starting to believe that if it wasn't for Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, he still wouldn't be shit. His shit is not stinking. It's a white turd. It's fucking flies putting shit maggots in there, and it's nothing. He has destroyed Denver, and he now continues his wrath upon the Raiders. Such is a terrible decision. You want to switch out Jimmy for O'Connell, depending on Jimmy's concussion protocol. Hoyer is the backup. You do not have O'Connell active at all. He's been inactive for the last 3 games. Why though? Why would you want to see O'Connell? I do want to see him. I do want to see what this guy could do. He does have weapons to succeed, but that line, that offense, the offensive play calling, is he really going to succeed? Or are we just throwing him? I hope this kid goes and plays, and I hope he just balls out like Stidham did against the Cowboys. I hope he's like that. Because this kid is, if he does get thrown in there, he's getting thrown into a dumpster fire. And I don't know if he could put it out. I don't know if he'll be able to survive. I'd feel so bad for him. Because I've always said it, he needs to sit back and he needs to absorb the game. He needs to learn. He needs to develop. Raider Nation are calling for him already. He's being listed to be our starting quarterback. Everybody wants him to be the starting quarterback. This dude's a rookie. He's not a high draft pick. They didn't have him as a high draft pick. So I want him to develop. I don't want him to just be thrown in there and be demolished. Because I know the play calling is going to suck ass. But at this point, you got to see what you have, right? You got to see what the merch is so you could plan for next year. My plan is that I hope that Josh McDaniels gets fired at the end of the season. But it's still a lot of I know it's still a lot of football. There still could be a winning streak. But when us Raider fans, I said this last video, if we lose this game, the locker room's morale is completely done. They're done with McDaniels. McDaniels will lose the team. I think he lost the team. But especially in his presser, talking about the team, talking about what they did wrong, blah, blah, blah. Not on him. Not on him. Not on him. He lost the locker room. He's lost Devante Adams. He's lost Max Crosby. Nate Hobbs had a good, solid game. Hugged him. I still think Nate Hobbs probably thinks he's a douche too. So that's my frustration. I'm going to end this because I'm going to go gym. I'm going to eat a snack. I'm going to I looked at the schedule. I will be there at Raiders versus Chargers. My plan is to get obliterated before the game because we are going to get our ass kicked. And I paid for these tickets ahead of time, so I got to go. And it's a Father's Day gift to my father. But we're going to get drunk because it's going to be a long game. If we get I know that the Chargers, we always go 1-1 every season, but I don't know, man. I think Chargers could easily beat us twice this year. That's how I feel, and I just hope that we pull something out of our ass while I'm there. I just want this win. This season, how bad it looks, I just really want this win while I'm there. Please. But I'm going to be super drunk, so I'll win either way, I guess. So, yeah. I'm Danny Manic, get down, son. So we don't talk next matchup, which is going to be the Chargers and Raiders. Look forward to that video because there is going to be a lot of keys, a lot of things that we need to do to win this game. Can we beat the Chargers? Of course we can because it's the Chargers and we can. But in my mind, if I'm realistic, we get the Chargers that played against the Vikings, we're not going to beat them twice in a year, or we're not going to beat them once in a year. But we'll talk about it. We'll talk next time. Raiders. Bye, guys. Subscribe, like.